Hi, Janine. I am so excited to get started with this reading for you. I was doing everything kind of like, getting set up, and I'm just so excited. It's been a while since I've read for you, but it's been a while since I've read for anyone. And I was starting to like doubt myself a little bit, like I always do, getting back into it. And I just asked my guides to reassure me, and like immediately I was given all these amazing signs. So I have a feeling this is going to be like a really, really good reading. And so I just wanted to get started and just jump right in. So you have not seen these cards before. This is a new deck that I'm using for your reading specifically, because as soon as I started to connect into my guides today, the angels were extremely, extremely prevalent. So I wanted to make sure that I took advantage of that energy. And I'll probably not be reading anything from like tarot or anything like that. I'm going to stick with this oracle card and an angelic kind of energy. So, and I'm also going to do something that I haven't done since the first time that I read for you, which is ask for your, oh my gosh, it's so funny. It keeps going back down. Which is ask for your ancestors to, and your guides and all of that to step forward. I'm so distracted right now just trying to figure this out. It literally just like keeps going down. How funny is that? Hold on, let me pause really quick. Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and get right into it. And I'm going to ground myself, clear my energy, and I'm going to ask for anybody of the light who I may or may not already be working with. But specifically for this reading, I'm going to ask archangels Raphael, Michael, Shamuel, and Joviel to step forward. Such a beautiful noise. I love it. Thank you. I can feel your presence around me. And I'll explain to you why I did it differently like that in a minute. And then now I'd like to ask for Janine's guides, her ancestors, her spirit animals, her angels, anybody of the light who she may or may not already be working with. I don't know, I'm like tearing up already. But it's specifically, again, calling forward her angels because I feel very called to work on this angelic realm today. So Janine's angels, I'd like to ask for you to step forward now. Okay, number one, Janine, you gotta start asking your angels for help. Your angels are coming out of the woodworks right now and they're just like, are you sure? She hasn't asked us to help. And you know what's so interesting about working with angelic energy is that by divine order, they are not allowed to interfere in our lives unless we give them permission to. And we give them permission to by asking or by saying, I am open to your healing or your support at this time. But they are not allowed to help you otherwise. So I've joked that like working with angels, I've half joked, that working with angels is like an ultimate life hack. Because if you don't even know to ask for it, then why would you? And then as soon as you start to ask your angels for help, you'll notice that things go a lot smoother. So when like your angels were coming out, I kind of like imagined, like I kind of saw them like peeking their head out and like, are you sure we're okay? And I'm like, yeah, it's okay. I'm speaking on behalf of Janine right now, so it's okay. So yeah, when I was getting ready for this reading, I kept getting this image of a river, and it's not going away now that I invited your guides in, so I'm pretty sure it's for you, or maybe it's for both of us or something, but I just want to unpack that symbol for a moment. So a river has to do with water, it has to do with emotions, it has to do with all of that, but like a river continues to go, right? So like, whereas a lake is the same kind of water all the time, and where even like at the ocean, it'll kind of roll in and roll out, but like ultimately it's, the ocean is a big puddle. I don't know why one of our angels wanted to make that joke. But a river, like, it runs, right? Like a river goes for it. And so there's some sort of message for, like I said, probably for both of us. But it's really vivid for you as well. Like this idea of just charging forward in an emotionally charged situation. And you're always going to be different. Like at one river bend, you're going to be like this. And then at another river bend, there might be some more sticks and twigs thrown in and maybe some different wildlife and some different plants living under you. And you're the same, but you're also changed with every bend. And a river is kind of like a scary energy. Maybe that's what it is. It's a little bit intimidating because it's no matter how much you want it to stop, it won't stop. So perhaps that's why you're reaching out to me for a reading at this time, is that there's some sort of you just feel like every time you get back up, you get pushed back down again by this roaring river of emotions, right? Again, river is water. So I'm just internalizing that with my unpacking of it too, is that it's about water. It's about the way that we connect with ourselves on an emotional level, on the way that we connect with others on an emotional level. It's also about how we connect with our guides and with all that. So yeah, your angels just showed me a raft floating on that river, that they're okay, well, it's gonna be crazy for a little while, so jump on this raft. We're right next to you. We literally have this raft and you're just there swimming. That's what it is. So that's so interesting. I already feel very much in a different headspace. And so I want to ask the angels to give me one of these angel therapy cards to guide the reading. Nope, they want to do 3. They want to do a past, present, future. Oh, okay. I'm telling you, because I work with the angels quite frequently, Janine, me personally, but I never really push them on other people, just because I'm not an asshole like that. But they really want to talk to you today. It's dang, okay. That was half the deck just flew out. It's please tell her we're there for her. I'm okay, got it. Let me get a little more specific though. So they don't want me to do a 3 card. They want me to do a 4 card because angels work in more 4s. They want you to feel supported. So we're going to intuitively make up a spread right now. That's going to be fun. So we're going to put where you're coming from. And then I feel there's kind of there's some sort of 2 energy that you're dealing with right now. Should I stay, should I go kind of thing. Or how much to give of your attention to something. I'm not really sure yet, but I'm going to put where you're coming from, kind of what that is all about, and then the outcome of it. We'll see what happens. Mm-hmm. Okay. Wow. All right. So right away, out of all of these cards, I believe that there are, I have it somewhere. There are 44 cards in this deck. Of those 44 cards, 7 of them are chakra cards. Actually, 8 of them are chakra cards. And of those 8, out of the 4 cards that we pulled, 2 chakra cards came up. And these are chakra cards that I remember hitting on before in past readings. So I want to say that you've recently spoke up for yourself. And I feel I said that, I don't know if it was to you or to someone else, but I feel you've recently spoken up for yourself. You feel in some way, well, but we also got it reversed. So no, they're kind of cautioning me on that. It's more you've been confronted with a situation lately where you feel you should speak up, but you're afraid to. And right then, I became very aware of something in my house that says, be afraid and do it anyway. So I feel maybe that's what happened. Maybe you were scared of speaking up for yourself and you did it, or you didn't. And now you're kind of regretting that. either way, you're coming from a place of healing your throat chakra, which is something that I know that we've talked about before. And so this is the angels just saying that you still need to work on it, but that you have been working on it. And the angels want me to remind you that healing is a lifelong process. So don't be discouraged when you get the same messages over and over. It doesn't mean that you're like not making progress. It actually means that you are, and that like the angels just want to keep giving you the same, like they want to be like, yes, that and more, and I just like blanked out for that. So that was like a little bit channeled from your angels. Usually probably in terms of synchronicity too. Like you might like see the same things over and over. Angels like to speak in numbers. I'm pretty sure I've spoken to you about that. You have that angel book, I'm pretty sure. So don't get discouraged because you keep getting the same messages. Use it as a sign to be like, okay, I'm on my right healing path. Because a lot of the times we spend a lot of time healing stuff that's not even our own stuff. Whereas like this throat chakra issue is something that is going to probably be around for your whole life. This idea of speaking up when necessary, being able to communicate clearly, being able to get what you want. That's not something that like all of a sudden you just acquire. This is something that you're going to be, even when you heal it, you're still going to come back to it. So don't get discouraged about that. Now, the other card that came up, the other chakra card that came up, so we got the throat chakra card, and I also got the base chakra card. And I know that we've talked about the root chakra, the base chakra before as well, which that has to do with your stability. Everything stems from that. So if you don't feel like you have if you don't feel like you are safe inside of yourself, then you can't speak up for yourself. You can't create things. You can't connect with spirituality. You can't do all that other stuff. So I think that there's something that's going on, again, like I said, that you're having to speak up for yourself. And there's two ways that this is going. So what's interesting is it says, be willing to forgive, and then it says crystals. But I think I understand what they mean by this. And so I think that you're kind of going back and forth between like, be willing to forgive other people in your life who have hurt you, being able to forgive yourself, like really doing the heart chakra work versus like kind of like buying crystals, like doing like walking the walk, but not necessarily talking the talk. And I think that that's what this is. Because you are being asked to forgive right now. And having to forgive people usually includes a lot of trauma, like unpacking trauma. Because like if we have to forgive someone, they've hurt us before, right? So it's not like the nicest thing to want to do. But that being said, if you kind of apply all of these spiritual concepts that you have been becoming more and more aware of, if you now you're being asked to take that esoteric metaphysical knowledge and apply that to your actual heart healing in terms of how you relate to other people. And what's going to happen as a result of this integration is that you're going to be able to speak up better for yourself and you're going to feel more safe. So I think you're at a point with your spirituality and with where you're at, like I said, where you need to start to not only talk the talk, I don't want to say talk the talk even, like not just listen the listen, it's very good to be receptive towards information, but you're being asked now to start to demonstrate those higher learning or those higher meaning things that you've been working on. So that's really cool. And then, like I said, that ultimately you're going to be kind of by implementing these things together, and also get some crystals if you've been thinking about it. This card is saying like do that. If you maybe like rose quartz would be great for forgiving yourself. I particularly like black tourmaline for like the stability to forgive others, but you could also do green stones for that. Definitely do that because those things will be related, and you'll be able to better use tools. Literally, I have like things everywhere right in front of me. You'll be able to use the tools in order to do the inner work. So if you're being called to do that, definitely do that. And then through that, you are actively healing this base throat chakra thing that I feel like this has been a very recurring thing, not just in our readings, but in your life. Like this idea of like, do I feel safe enough to speak up for myself, basically. So the angels want to help. I mean, ultimately, that's what, if I'm called to working with the angels specifically, that's a lot of just reminding you that they just want to help. So like, think of it this way. Like if you have just even a minor inconvenience, if you like, you can't find your keys, or like, another one that I do a lot is if you are, if you don't have that long to sleep, I sometimes will pray to the angels and ask that they help me feel more rested. If you can't find your keys, pray to them and ask, for guidance on where your keys are, like to show your keys or something like that. Start small and also be bigger about it. So when you start small, you can see that these things, that it does help. And then also when you get that confirmation, then you're like, oh, this works. So let me go ahead and pray to the angels about this way larger issue that is not so simple as just finding where I put my keys, or that's not so simple as like not needing to drink another cup of coffee. So yeah, I'm going to pull another, I want to do love. For some reason, I feel like your angels want to help you with something with going on with love. So we'll pull from this deck really quick for the last few minutes. Yep. Damn. Okay. So I don't think things have gotten better with the dad. That's what it's looking like for me. In the recent past, we got the world showing that there's some sort of completion to something. I mean, I know that we've been working on that a lot, or I've been, working with you on that a lot. But it seems like you have just hit ahead, where at the very least you can see it differently than you did before. Since you have children with this guy, like he's not going anywhere, right? So the best thing that you can do sometimes is just alter your perception rather than expecting him to fit into the box, changing your expectations so that way you understand what things that he can and can't do, and you don't live in continually being frustrated that he's not living up to your expectations. So you recently have been able to start to see things in a new light, what they are, and that is going to help you. That being said, the reason that I'm assuming that it's the X is because we got happy family reversed for the present situation. So that just usually indicates, it still is the happy family card, still is talking about family, but it's indicating that there's, unrest in the family. And that's why I don't think that it's talking about like maybe some new guy or like something like that. I feel like this is the dad. And one thing that I want to warn you about with getting this in this position is just to continue to do everything that you can to make sure that you're not passing on your frustration about how your perfect happy family isn't so happy. Try everything you can to not pass that to your children. Because when we get this card this way, it just sometimes can show that there's some negative patterns, right? That go through generations. And like, don't worry, I'm not like coming for you at all with that. That's just facts. But so when we are tested, when we're stressed, that's typically when we pass those things along that we would like not like to. And even if we're saying that we're not, we might kind of be doing it. So just be aware of that. But ultimately, this is good. Whatever just happened, whatever like recently upset that kind of like happy family dynamic, girl, we got door to personal healing and happiness. So this is good for you. This is, I mean, your family aside, this is good for you specifically. And that is just going, I mean, if you're happy, then everything else is going to kind of fall into place, right? So ultimately, I mean, there is an element of unhappiness, of unrest, but I'm telling you, you're hanging in there and you're doing it good. And this might allude to what we were talking about before about that blending of like what you're supposed to do versus what you can actually do, and like starting to mesh those together, getting some crystals, doing all of that stuff if that's something that you're interested in. All of that is kind of inspired by this frustration and hurt with him and with your family and with what your expectation was versus what your reality is. But it's all, I promise you, this is all going to lead to ultimately you being happier and healthier. Because, I mean, now, yeah, your angels are like, stress. Like, he's all stress. Guess what? Stress is bad for your health. Like, no matter how much you try to suppress it, no matter how much you try to act like you can handle it, no. Stress is bad for our health. So, like, down the line, you're going to be looking back at this like, oh my gosh, I'm getting better sleep. I'm eating better. Like I feel like I'm better able to like, to breathe, literally, like healing, happiness. You'll be good. I promise. Just got to hang in there. So, I'm at my time. I hope that you enjoyed this. I really did. Like I said, I felt like this was a very special reading while I was getting ready for it. And I'm leaving this reading feeling like it was a very special reading. So, just this is your monthly reminder to make sure that you are asking your angels for help. They're literally just standing around like twiddling their thumbs, being like, I don't know. We sent her all of these signs. She got a psychic reading. They told her to listen to us. She still isn't trying to use us. We're just sitting here, just ready to go. So yeah, okay. Well, I will hopefully talk to you soon. I hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope you have a really great rest of your day. Bye.